Hi, this is Dr. Young Price and Boyan Shinitz from BeyondGoodHealth.com. We'd just like to give you a little bit of update from our trip to Thailand, the recent 7-day seminar retreat that we did on the new Russian knowledge for the new age, specifically also including organ regeneration using consciousness technology. So this was really amazing learning and quite mind-blowing actually, because the work was originally founded by an absolute genius. He was a mathematician, scientist, and he had a lot of accolades and work to his name. And his name was Dr. Grigori Grabovoi. And this work started in 1992, but even much earlier than that, just officially in 1992. And his students, including the work of Igor Arcady and Arcady Petrov, who actually subsequently formed institutions and schools to actually substantiate this work of Grabovoi, and also to document the first organ regeneration that they performed in these institutions that were validated by medical equipment and medical conventional diagnostic. So they subsequently had a lot of people with thousands of testimonials how they were able to regenerate organ, rejuvenate their diseased body using merely consciousness or expanded consciousness, the power of perceptions and the power of beliefs, changing those beliefs. So Boyan, we learned a lot in the 7 days. What can you tell us a bit about what we learned and just share with people?
Okay, so the basic principles of this new conscious technology, I start with the first one. I find this actually the biggest one is the assumption that we are a part of the Creator. So if we are part of the Creator or God or whatever you call it, then we can also act and see like the Creator. And this is very important for any healing process, because this gives you all the tools and all the power to make changes on a very deep level. And then the other aspect, very important aspect, is that everything actually is built on energy and information. So we are actually information, condensed information. And the third part I loved on this tool is, as it is a conscious technology tool, you don't need any equipment. You don't need to buy expensive equipment. You learn it, you apply it, and you have it for your life. So this is really amazing.
Yeah, it's a wonderful way to become self-empowered without depending on other people. And it's really good when you're not that sick, because you can actually exert the mental energy to practice and really apply it into your life. And I think that more and more we're going to have to do that in this world, because the world's getting very sick, it's very toxic, and we're going to need to get more knowledgeable about what's available for us to help our families and our own selves to rejuvenate our current conditions, not only in our bodies but also in our environment. So can you tell us a little bit more, Boyan, about what kind of things that you can use this knowledge for?
Okay, so
specifically.
Yeah, perhaps I explain a little bit the process without going into details. The process starts basically with a macro control, where you at first put out the intention for the whole world. So you're thinking about the whole world for rescue and development, harmonious development of humankind and the world. So this is very important that you send it out at first before you work on yourself. And the next level is that you formulate in the correct way what you actually want to have changed. So for example, talking about my right elbow, I want to restore my right elbow to the Creator's norm. So we have a clear goal. It is, I want to restore it to the state, to the original state, to the perfect state. And then the third level is that we are cleaning up at first the past, because you actually can't make major changes without working on your past and all the steps that were leading to the problem. Okay, and this can go back several years. This can go back into past lives, if you believe into past lives. So we go back 1 hour before the first trigger of the cause, and from there we decide consciously that we don't go the same path. So this is really amazing. You basically change your past, you change the history, and then you allow the space, you allow the energy for changes. And then the last and most important step eventually is to use a specific tool. So there are several tools available. You use a tool like the crystal. That's an example I could use now. You use a specific crystal, you activate the crystal, you program the crystal with your mentally, you program it mentally, consciously, and you put this crystal on a specific place. Again, you don't need a real crystal. It is happening with your conscious thoughts. You put it on your elbow or wherever you need it, and this crystal will help you to restore, to make the change from negative to positive. So I worked, for example, on my tooth. I had tooth problems for the last 3 months. So I worked on it, and today, for example, it's the second day where I'm completely pain-free, and this is great. I didn't need to go to a dentist.
Yes, so some of these tools and techniques does require some practice, and you need to develop a certain ability, whether it be a clairvoyant ability or visualization capacities, or just really using conscious intention, focus intention to create a specific outcome that you want. And it is a pretty amazing set of methodologies that were gifted to us by Grabovoi, and really he did it so that people could really help save themselves in the current crisis of the world that we live in. So I specifically had quite a number of results when I was actually using it. One being that I got very sick during Thailand, and I'm not more very sick, but one day I got very sick with virus, and I had aches and pains all over my body, and I just felt really like death warmed up, and I could barely move around. And so I did some of the controls, some of the techniques, and really at the end of that day, I was much better. I was amazed at how fast I recovered from having runny nose, aches and pains, feeling like completely lethargic, to being able to function really quite well, and be able to go out to dinner and chat with friends and so forth. And then the next day I had a bacterial infection with abdominal cramps and diarrhea that actually within a couple of hours of doing some of the techniques, that was actually gone. So that was pretty amazing. It'd be nice to get over gastroenteritis that quickly. But more importantly, for more longer things, I had cracked heels that I've had for a number of months and months, and they were barely managed on fish oils and so forth. But doing the control, where I consciously intended for those heels to be completely healed and restored to its original state, these heels are healing so fast day by day. I cannot believe, and I've now got nearly completely healed 2 heels, and it's just nearly normal now. And it's a shame I didn't take pictures of it beforehand to actually show you, because it's quite amazing. And I'm also at the moment doing the tooth regeneration process on my own tooth, where I've been able to avoid seeing a dentist also over the last couple of weeks as well. So yeah, they're my personal results, but we also had a lot of results from participants who regrew some hair, got rid of their rheumatism, pains in their knees. I mean, they disappeared very, very quickly, faster than any physical process I've ever seen. So there's some cases that are really quite amazing. People have really regenerated organs, haven't they?
Yes, and the good thing is it's really for everybody. Everybody can learn it. It requires a bit some learning steps. You have to go into it, and you have to really study it. But then afterwards, it can be used by everybody. Yeah, that's the beauty of this technology.
Yeah.
And so we will start to introducing slowly in our praxis, and we want to do some group work with it, and later we will also teach this technology here in Australia and in Thailand, so that as many people as possible can have the advantage of this new knowledge.
Yes, having access to the tools to help yourself is critically important for your well-being and for your internal usefulness. So
Yes.
we hope to see you again at our next workshop sometime, and we look forward to seeing you next time at the next show. Thank you.
And enjoy the Thailand pictures afterwards, and see you later.
Okay.